Chapter 37. Adam and Eve 3.0. The almost 9 months journey passed, and we began to wake up at the same preset time, at the exact predetermined coordinates outside the solar system, only 2 hours away from our destination. Kay's excitement was indescribable. I could tell I had never seen her with such exhilaration and enthusiasm. I did not know whether her happiness was because of that journey and the crucial role she was playing, along with the experience she was about to have, or if it was because we were finally bound by one destiny, one destination, and one family. My happiness was more evident, at least to me, of course. One reason was my fascination with returning to Earth and perhaps meeting Sam and Lara again. That would allow me to introduce them to Kay if they existed, unless they had come with me to Proxima B and left Earth forever. On the other hand, my actual enthusiasm and excitement were to make a dream come true just as I imagined, and to share that experience with Kay. "Do you know what the name of this planet is?" Kay challenged me with a wry, charming smile to get me out of my sea of thoughts, and I responded in defiance, "Do you?" We spent these minutes watching and observing our surroundings, sometimes pointing at the stars and planets, and others competing over who would remember their names first. That was a stimulating and fun-filled experience, spending these minutes in such a way, unlike my previous trip. The spaceship has been programmed to land in the exact location of my previous trip. It was next to where I left my book, and that was the first thing I planned to look for as soon as we got our feet on the ground. "Look over there, Kay!" As soon as we got out of the capsule, I told my wife, "Under that tree is where I left my little book." I pointed to a distinctive tree compared to its surroundings, and took her hand to go there. She looked around with astonishment and fascination that had not left her since we awoke, augmented by the various forms of wildlife that have no equal on our planet. "I wonder if it is still there," I said jokingly to her as we approached that tree, and she answered me cheerfully, "Yes, let's see, maybe it got bored and decided to change its place, or maybe Sam took it as his property." Her last remark shocked me, as I never mentioned anything about my encounter with Sam or Lara. But instead of asking, I kept my thoughts to myself, and we laughed until we came to the tree, where I looked in horror at the almost effaced traces on the ground where my book was. It was not there. We looked at each other anxiously, or perhaps terrified was the right feeling, and I tried to calm her down, saying, "It might be an animal that took it or something." I wanted to calm myself down as well, though not convinced by that ridiculous idea. A creature seizing the book in its mouth would leave traces or marks that something had been pulled and then grabbed. However, the book was carefully picked up, and the print of its position on the ground was still immaculate and definite. While we were thinking or trying to figure out what could have happened, we heard the knocking of steps running down the ground, the like of which I had never heard before, accompanied by the frightful gurgling of what seemed to be a gigantic creature approaching.